Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out over at patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. Also, find us in podcast form wherever you get your podcast. Just search PackerFan Total Access. It is February the 17th, second show of the day, man. Really excited to get in here at the somewhat of a normal time slot. We used to go live every evening. We'll be bringing that back as we get into the spring months. My schedule is going to ramp up, so we'll be going back live in the evening. I know we'll get our regular crowd back in here. We got Jacob joining us right now from Wisconsin. I was just telling Jacob offline, man, got the French doors open out here. The birds are chirping. We're sitting at about 60 degrees. Spring's in the air. Absolutely fired up about that. Jacob, I heard you've been exercising, dude. Is that a true story?
I wouldn't call it exercising as much as just pulling every muscle I have in my body. But yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, pulling a butt cheek on the treadmill, man. Everybody's been there, right? We've done that. Got the T-shirt. I see the crowd filing in here. Appreciate y'all swinging through. If you would, smash that like button for us. And also, if this is your first time tuning into PTA, if you're watching this back later or watching live, like I said, welcome into PTA. We are not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. You could probably pick up on that already. We are fans just like you, talking Packers on a daily basis. So if you look for that type of content, fan-driven, for the fans, by the fans, that type of vibe, make sure you hit subscribe and click the bell icon so you catch us live moving forward. I see Chad Inc. in the house. We got Coach Lynn, Thomas Light, United Bates, Mike Berry in here. We're going to do a 7-round mock draft. All right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a 7-round mock draft. And I told the guys in the Patreon group, if y'all got any questions last second, fire those into the mailbag and we'll hit that at the end of the show as well. I know we got Emilio drag assing in here at the last second. You know how this works, man. Unbelievable. Jacob, what are we going to do with that guy?
It's unprofessional, you know. It's just not a good guy all around.
All right. Bad person, bad human being.
Plays rookie on Madden.
Oh, yep. There he is.
How you doing, man?
Good.
What's going on, Emilio?
Yeah, good. Jacob, you got a green screen back there, man? What's going on?
I finally got some new stuff hooked up. Just trying it out for the first time. I know, man.
Looks good. Looks great.
Come on now.
So we're trying to up our game here at PTA. That's the moral of the story, right? So, and Emilio, as long as you keep that flag up, that's all that matters to me, man. That's all we need in your background. So
I'll just add stuff around it. It works.
All right. Let's get into it, boys. Let's do some mock draft. I'm excited about this, man. There's been a lot of stuff kind of shaking loose. There's teams cutting players loose, big name players too, right? We're kind of on the cusp of potentially restructuring contracts. If the Packers want to keep a few guys like your Rashawn Gary's, your Aaron Bankses, your Elton Jenkins, we'll see if that shakes out. So let's just fall back, do a 7-round mock draft. Nail that to the wall. We're going to use the mock draft database as our mock draft simulator tonight. So that'll shake things up from the usual PFF mock draft database, obviously. And we'll have our board pulled up off to the side as well. I don't think we're going to paint any kind of specific picture here, guys. We're not going to be going, okay, we signed a cornerback in free agency or we signed a lineman. We'll just go in with our normal needs. I feel like we need 2 offensive linemen, at least 1 cornerback, potentially a defensive tackle, a stack backer, a tight end, and possibly a kick returner. Of course, I would throw quarterback at the end of the draft as well to maybe take a swing on a guy because it's obvious Malik Willis is probably going to be a Miami Dolphin, would be my guess. So is there any other positions of need there y'all want to add to the list? I know, Jacob, you've been mentioning running back a lot here lately. Do you want to throw running back on the list too?
Yeah, probably with the caveat of only like between the 5th and 7th.
Got it. So late round. What about you, Emilio? You want a punter? Or are you good? You like Daniel Williams?
I'll check the tight ends later on, but right now
Bet you will.
Yeah, I bet you're always checking those tight ends. We know how that goes. So, all right, let's do it. Let's hit it. We're going turbo speed here. It's turbo time. All right. And again, top needs I see are offensive line, cornerback, and defensive tackle. I feel like they're in that order, to be honest with you. We're not going to do any cheesy trades here. Let's just go down the line and look at the best players available according to mock draft database. At 38, you got Emmanuel Prignon, interior offensive lineman for Oregon. You got his teammate at the safety position, Dylan Thieneman, if I'm saying that right. Some people have him as the second best safety in this draft. That's really, really interesting. He's in the 39 spot. Max Ihanakor, Screwed it up. He's number 41 out of Arizona State. Solid offensive tackle there as well. Then you get an edge defender in R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. Somebody said earlier today, I'm trying to remember, it might have been Dane Brugler that said they have, I mean, this is a really, really heavy edge defensive class here. So keep that in mind, that you might be able to get good quality at the edge defensive position if you're not sold on LVN, of course. And then, of course, Omar Cooper Jr. at wide receiver out of Indiana. Those are kind of at the top of the list here. Any positions you guys want to see right off the bat here, man?
I mean, I will say that Emmanuel Pregnon, that's one of the first times I've seen him available at that position. PFF sure likes him. 88.4 overall grade, 88 passing grade, and 88.3 run blocking grade. So talking about all around pretty good lineman right there. If I had to pick, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah, what do you think, Emilio? I think we got him in the 46 spot, right?
Yeah.
On our board. So that would be a solid pick here, obviously, at 52. What about Max, though? Where's Max at? Do you have any idea?
Let's see.
Actually, I see him right here. He's a little bit lower than Prignon. So Jacob's spot on there, man. Yeah. I would have thought that Ihanakor would have been higher than Prignon.
And I was just looking at Prignon. He has played left guard pretty much mostly his entire career. 773 and 23, 882 and 24, and 850 and 25. He played 55 at right guard and one at right tackle, one at left tackle, just to cover all of his bases. He's versatile enough to move around. I would think that's a Goody pick right there. Cool. An interior lineman that's predominantly left guard that can move around.
Mm-hmm. So that's you're thinking Ihanakor or Prignon?
Prignon.
So Prignon does have a 46.8 grade for us, right? He is significantly higher than Max Ihanakor, who has a 53.5 right now. If you were to try to make a case for Max out of Arizona State, he did dominate at the Senior Bowl that week, right? Yep. And Prignon was there, but he didn't get the bonus. It doesn't mean he was bad, but he didn't shine quite like Ihanakor did. So that's the only thing I really have in terms of ammunition, other than maybe Daniel Jeremiah actually has Max Ihanakor at 41, and he doesn't have Prignon in his top 50, right? Now, if you bounce over to Dane Brugler and combat that, Dane Brugler has Ihanakor at 44 on his board, and he actually has Prignon at 79. So this is like, I would be okay with either of these guys with where they sit right now. I wonder if our boy this is interesting too here, Jacob, because our boy Jennings Dunker is actually gone, and it's been kind of rare that he hasn't been here when we've done these mock drafts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing about switching it up and trying different platforms, because you get kind of used to a certain flow. You know what I mean? Once you do PFF too many times or do mock base too many times, Draft Buzz, they all kind of have a similar type way that the draft seems to go. So it is kind of cool to mix it up. I'm all for Emmanuel Pregnon. I like what Emilio was talking about. If he does have any sort of versatility, but the level of play that he went across, and just the overall, double shot, being a really good run blocker and a good pass blocker, I'm excited about that. I'd say swing the bat at that.
Yeah, and I mean, Jacob, with a run block grade of 85.8, pass block grade of 88.1, zone grade 93. His gap grade is 69, but that's 80th or 90th percentile out of all interiors, and the true pass set of 85.1. I'm not mad at that. Oregon spreads the ball out. They're more of a spread kind of offense. Get the ball outside. Speed, and he's able to pass protect. I would be all for that. 6'5", 318 as PFF has him. So, 6'4", 300 is probably where he's at somewhere. I'll take that.
Yeah. And so imagine in this scenario, you don't bring back Aaron Banks, right? You let him, you cut him loose, you free up that money post June 1, and then you move forward with someone like Prignon to be your starting left guard alongside of Jordan Morgan. Now, you didn't get older in that scenario, but we also are holding out hope that Goody will spend a little bit of money in free agency and try to reset that offensive line of touch as well. I'm going to hate myself if we don't look at corner real quick, okay, because we know how this goes, all right? So we know if we go offensive line, it's definitely Prignon. And listen, there is nothing wrong with getting the 46th best prospect on our board at pick 52. But when you look at corner, you've got Keontae Scott, all right? Keontae Scott's 59 on our board, so that don't make sense. You've got D'Angelo Pons is 40 on our board. Okay, so he is available. And then Igbinosun is down at 78. That don't make sense. Malik Muhammad's outside of our top 100. Chandler Rivers is at 81. So if we were to go cornerback here, guys, I think hands down it would be D'Angelo Pons. And I think it's really interesting that as we look at this, our boy Chris Johnson is gone from Arizona State, right? So we can go O-line Pregnon or we can go cornerback D'Angelo Pons. And again, when you compare these, just where they sit on our board, Pons is number 40, Pregnon is in the 46th spot. So which of those two would you boys like? That's a tough decision, in my opinion, man, because both of them are positions of need. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, if in my opinion, Emilio, you tell me if I'm wrong. I just feel like you said, the versatility, the size, the grades for the guard are going to overshadow D'Angelo Pons' 5'9", 175-foot frame. To me, that just doesn't seem like something we're going to do. You tell me if I'm crazy.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And just kind of how we broke down the horizontal board last year with it, we had them in clusters of 10 with, so anywhere from 40 to 49.9 would be that cluster. I think your cluster buster is exactly it, Jacob. Of all right, Pons' size is just not going to work for us. I like what we could get out of the interior O-lineman out of Oregon that knows how to pass block, can run block, and then move forward with that. We can chase it kind of later on in the draft with corners. That might fit a little bit better.
Absolutely. And I don't hate fishy things, his idea right here with the super chat. Thank you so much. But he says spend money on some 300-pound free agents, draft cornerbacks. Wouldn't hate it. Like if we had went out in free agency and let's say we had gotten a Tyler Linderbaum right at center, or let's say we just stuck with guard. Guys, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 free agent guards marked on the cheat sheet here, and you guys can find it in our Patreon group. People like Smalls, David Edwards, Elijah Vera Tucker, Joe Batonio, Kevin Zeitler, Ed Ingram, and then, of course, Tevin Jenkins. All of those guys, I feel very comfortable saying I would rather have them play left guard than Aaron Banks. So if you went that route, it would make sense to go corner. But in this scenario, we didn't do any of that, right? So completely agree with you, Fishy Things. But I think we're going to go with Pregnon here. With the 52nd overall pick, the Packers are going to take an interior offensive lineman, try to shore up that offensive line a little bit. I like the pick, man.
Come on, man.
It's awesome that's the first time that we have done that, too. So we picked him at 52, and we got the 46th best prospect there. All right, now moving along to pick 84, right? Pick 84 here in the third round. What positions would y'all like to see? I'm going to rattle off the top available at all positions, see if anybody pops to us. There's two right here out of the bat. You were talking about running back, Jacob. Jadarian Price, going to be a real interesting. I mean, that dude is either going to be a home run at the NFL level or he's going to be a complete bust. But, man, he averaged like 36 yards, kick return yards, I believe, per return last year. But we obviously let out that gas because of Jacob Rodriguez, stackbacker for Texas Tech. He is, according to the consensus big board, the best prospect available here at pick 84. He's a 62nd best prospect. We've got him on our big board at 65. So it checks out there. Great value if you want to go stackbacker. Is there any other positions y'all would like to see here, man? Those are the two that are at the top of the list, obviously.
Let's check out corner.
Yeah, corner D-line.
Corner and D-line. All right, let's take a look. Let's hop over to cornerback. You've got Malik Muhammad at 79. You've got Devin Moore at 88. Chandler Rivers, 93. That's a guy that keeps popping up, right? So if we were to look at our cheat sheet here, if I'm looking at it correctly, Julian Neal is slightly better on our board than Chandler Rivers, but there's 6 spots difference here with the consensus big board. There's only 1 spot different with our board, so you can make the case for both. So if we were to go cornerback here, I imagine we would want to go Chandler Rivers, okay? Would probably be our pick unless there's somebody else there on that list that you guys like better. Is there anybody there that you like better than Rivers? I think that would be my pick of these.
Where do you guys have Devin Moore?
Devin Moore is outside of our top 100. Let me see if I can find him on the big board here. Emilio, how do you feel about this cornerback position while I look Devin Moore up?
Yeah, we passed on Pons already. I think looking at Chandler Rivers, his size and everything isn't bad. I think he's super versatile, which, would be a plus. He had actually 21 snaps on D-line, 150 in the slot, almost 600 at corner, 65 box, and 30 deep. So he's able to kind of play all over. I like that he has that ability. And, he would be a decent fit, I believe. If we're going corner, I would probably say Rivers would be the move just because, I just don't think that we would kind of go after Malik right here.
Got it. And to answer your question, Jacob, we've got Devin Moore in the 113 spot is where he's at. Okay, so we got Rodriguez, 65th, linebacker, cornerback, Rivers, 81st. Let's just take a quick look at offensive line, okay? Offensive line, Jake Slaughter's there. If we wanted to go center here, he's 71 on our board. We got some options here, man. The third round is going to be really exciting this year, I believe, man, if some of these guys are available. So, again, Slaughter, 71. All right, let's take a look at offensive tackle.
Connor Lew, I mean, I know he got hurt, right? But
yeah, dude, it's interesting. Connor Lew is 58th on our board, but he's recovering the ACL. You know, it's like, man, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if we drafted Connor Lew and then he just never was the same player before the ACL. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. It's a tough decision to make. So if we go offensive tackle real quick, just to make sure we're not overlooking a stud there, you got Austin Barber, and Austin Barber on our list is 87th. All right. Demetrius Crownover, he is outside of our top 100. J.C. Davis is outside of our top 100. Jude Bowery is, Trey Zune, Drew Shelton. So if we went offensive tackle, it would be Austin Barber. And like I said, he is in the 87th spot. Now, I'm going to throw this up here. I'm not saying we should do it, but we've been talking a lot of running back here lately, right? Jadarian Price is sitting there at running back, okay? And he is in the 63 spot, okay, according to the consensus big board. Let me see where we've got him because I'm pretty sure we may have him a little bit higher there. And I know people are going to freak out if we draft a running back here, but I'm telling you, man, this guy, he's 60th on our big board. So here's what we got, guys. If we went in order of value according to the PTA big board, Jadarian Price 1, he's in the 60 spot. Then it's Jacob Rodriguez at linebacker at 65. Then it's center Jake Slaughter at 71. You've got Chandler Rivers, cornerback at 81, and then offensive tackle Barber at 87. So again, Price, Rodriguez, Slaughter, they're close enough together. You can make a case for either of those if you want to go by need. That makes sense.
And D-line real quick, just swing over there just to see what we got.
Yeah, you've got
wow.
So
it falls off.
I'm telling you, it falls off so quick, Jacob. It does, man. Once you get past Darrell Jackson and Big Citrus, all bets are off. I mean, they really are. And you know, we could try to make a case for one of these guys, but it's obvious they're not going to be nowhere near the value that we've got here with the other guys we've got it kind of narrowed down to. So, I mean, this is just a case study right here that if you don't go D tackle at 52, you're not going to get the value you want, right? Cornerback, like Daniel Jeremiah tweeted out, you're really, really loaded in day 2 with cornerback. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
And I was listening to his pod earlier. He was saying that he was talking with the 40s and free agents one that there's really not a bunch of interior D linemen that are available in free agency that are super big movers or anything like that. Big price guys, that big name guys. So you really kind of need to make that decision on, are you filling with depth or are you going to be filling with, a new draft pick or something like that in the D line? And it's an issue, I think it's one of our needs. But also so is O-line. And I really wouldn't be opposed to Slaughter or Lou there either. Right. Just say we're going to send it at center.
I would be happy with any of these picks, to be honest with you. Now, let's assume for a second that Quay Walker gets offered $15 million per in free agency and we don't have him. How important does Jacob Rodriguez become now if you can get him in this spot? That's the tough decision, really. For me, I've got it narrowed down. I would go either Jacob Rodriguez or Jake Slaughter. That's the way I would go. Now, you're completely ignoring cornerback if you do that, and now it's probably going to drop off. So if you want to go corner, you got to get Rivers right now as well. That's the 3 I've got it narrowed down to. Linebacker Rodriguez, cornerback Rivers, and center Slaughter. What do you think, Jacob? What would you rather go, linebacker, cornerback, or center? Obviously, linebacker is the better value. Center is second. But cornerback's probably a bigger need, maybe than both of them. But I don't know. A case can be made that center is more important.
So I would go either Rodriguez or Slaughter, and then I would wait and get a corner in the next round. And I still think there are some good ones that we can snag. And then I would just try to, as far as the running back, it's tempting. PFF has him as the 2nd overall running back in the draft. So that's very tempting. Right. Don't get me wrong, but at this point,
he's a stud, dude.
At this point, my gut would tell me to take Rodriguez, come back and get the best corner available, and then see if we can patch together some more offensive line and defensive line maybe, at the end of the draft there, take another running back.
And if you made me choose between linebacker or center, I would go linebacker because I still feel good about a couple more centers down the stretch here when you get into like Pat Coogan, some of those guys, if they're available. Now, this may be different here. There's Logan Jones. There's Pat Coogan on down there, you see. So you could probably nab one of those if you wanted to. What do you think, Emilio? How do you feel here, man?
I would take Slaughter. I mean, let's build up the trenches. We can worry about linebacker later. We can get red later on in the draft.
Oh, that's what this is. That's all this is.
Jacob, you just like Rodriguez's mustache, bro. Come on now. I know that's all you talk about.
He's a pimp mustache, man. When he throws that cowboy, when he throws that Stetson on, loud, women going crazy over there. So I guess I'm going to be the tiebreaker, right?
Do it.
Jacob went linebacker. Emilio went center. I'm going to remove myself from the tiebreaker, okay? And I'm going to say I'm going to stick with the board, which is linebacker Rodriguez. That would be the better prospect of the two. So we're going to go stack backer, Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. Now, here's what's cool about that. That was pick 84, and we just got the 65th best prospect. So far, we picked 52, got 46, picked 84, got 65. Great value so far. Ron Sample agrees. He says, if Quay isn't coming back, I'd pick Rodriguez. And again, that's kind of, if Quay is back, there's no way we're taking Rodriguez right there.
No.
Right? I think we all agree. So that's definitely the caveat. So, all right. So there goes Rodriguez off the board. We'll see if Slaughter made it. Did he make it, Emilio? He did not, sir.
See, look at what we did. Now we missed out.
We got Bo Stevens, buddy. We got Coogan.
There's Coogan. And
I wanted a center, Jacob. I don't want a versatile player. We already got our versatile guard.
Isn't Coogan a center?
He is Coogan, and we've got Coogan at 89 on our board. Now it's going to look like a bit of a reach, wouldn't it? Right here, 120 to 137. A touch.
Corners. We're done with offensive line for a round or two at this point.
Hey, there's my boy. I like him.
Hey, this is interesting. Let's do this. Let me clear my cheat sheet here. All right.
The whiteboard.
Well, I've got this test that's a complete whiteboard, so I'm literally writing down the cheat sheet here. So we got Julian Neal at cornerback would hands down be the best corner right now, and he is number 80 on our big board. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, if we go center Coogan, he would be the best center available. Coogan is 89. All right. And then what was the other position we need to look at, you think?
Traydon Stooks, cornerback.
Oh, you want to know what Stooks is? I don't have Stooks on my cheat sheet.
Come on.
I think you asked about
you said it was, he was above, like 150s or something like that.
Yeah, Stooks is 105. So,
that's not so bad. Okay.
Yeah, but you've got him basically 25 spots lower on our board than Neal. So I would definitely go Neal over Stooks if we were sticking to our board, of course. Going back to linebacker, Lander Barton, Boetcher, if that's how you say the name, Keyshawn Elliott. So, there's no linebacker there that we really feel good about. So we've got it kind of narrowed down between two positions of need here. Again, we went – did we just go – we didn't go cornerback, did we?
No, you wanted to pick a linebacker in the third round like we did with Tyron Hopper, and I'm over here trying to beef up our trenches like everybody's been saying we need to.
Well, we get a chance to do it right here. We can either go Pat Coogan or we can go Julian Neal. So the question is, which is the bigger need? If we don't bring back Elton Jenkins, right? If we don't bring back Elton Jenkins, we don't have a center. If we're assuming we bring back Elton Jenkins, I'm cool with going Julian Neal here. Either way, you're not going to come away with what you want because we did get greedy and go linebacker there at pick 84.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm going to take Neal. Sean Ryan plays center. We'll be all right. Send it.
All right. What do you think, Jacob? You want to go Neal or Coogan here?
I would actually go Coogan. I think there's still some cornerbacks. You can look at Takario Davis, Devin Marshall, Jaden Kennedy, Prize Sock. A lot of those guys are pretty good grades, good size. I'd take the old Coog.
You break it, Clay.
So we're split again. Last time we stuck to the board, and if we stuck to the board, it would be cornerback here at Neal. So that was your pick, wasn't it, Emilio?
It was.
I went with Jacob last time, and tiebreaker's the board. Boys, we're going in with no center. And it's all Emilio's fault, even though he wanted us to take Jake Slaughter. So we're going to go Julian Neal here, all right? At pick, what was that, 120? Is that correct?
Yep.
So at 120, we got great value there at 80th best prospect.
A little late. We'll take it.
Yeah, that's all right. Better late than never, right? So now let's go back to interior offensive line. Look who's still there. Look who's still there.
The old Coug.
The old Couganator. We get the old Couganator. So
play the long game right there.
I think we're just gonna run the card here. We ain't even gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go straight dictator right here, okay? I didn't even know we had that sound drop. That's absolutely awesome. I immediately thought of Kim Jong-un, whatever the hell his name is, right? So, all right, let me thank you. We're going to pick 158, all right? And we're going to get our center, and this is going to be Pat Coogan, who on our board is 89. Imagine getting with the 158th pick, the 89th best prospect on your board.
Yeah, that would be. I would be excited. Though I wanted Slater, I wouldn't be mad at this. You know, you get a national championship center, somebody you can play in the big games. We'll take that.
And you guys had no idea I was setting you up the whole time. You do know where Coogan played last year, don't you? Before he won the Natty, Notre Dame,
Gold and blue. Yeah,
he was one of the highly recruited centers or offensive linemen across the country. So yeah, let's see what Chase Green says here in the chat. He says, Clayton, I love the channel. I hope the Packers improve the D tackle position for next season, man. We're going to have to do something, Chase, or Wyatt's going to have to stay healthy and step up in the run game, right? I'm with you, man. And that's why I don't want people to feel like we're neglecting that position. But, man, it's just when you look at the offensive line, I feel like we need to shore up offensive line before we do defensive tackle, you know. Now, if the right guy falls, like we seen a couple of mock drafts earlier today, where our boy Peter Woods fell to 52. It's like, I don't think that's going to happen. But if that happened, I'm taking him all day long at 52. Are you kidding me? Kristen Miller, we got him at 33. He's going to be gone. But if he fell, I'd take him. To Chase's point, Lee Hunter, I'd be okay with him. He's the 41st best prospect. Unfortunately, these guys are gone when we pick. And then you got Darrell Jackson at 91 and Big Citrus at 99. Now, those guys are since gone, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, so they're already off the board. So it's kind of like when you pass on 52, all bets are off. Those guys seems to be that most of the consensus big boards disagree with where we have Darrell Jackson and Big Citrus. So they go while we're still waiting for the value to make sense, if that makes sense. So, but nonetheless, we went and got Pat Coogan. I love that. That's my favorite pick so far, man. Stayed patient, got it done. So now, moving along, best available. If we go all here, Dallin Bentley, tight end out of Utah. C.J. Daniels, wide receiver out of Miami. Bryce Boetcher out of Oregon at linebacker. Albert Regas at defensive line. There's our boy Tanner. I'm going to get it right here. Koziel. You know why I said it like that? Because when I played the pronunciation 500 times, that little British lady said Koziel. That's why we're doing it. All right. So if it's wrong, blame the Brits. Don't blame your boy.
Real quick, I believe somebody in the chat mentioned it. Let's see here. Yeah. J. Cole was wondering, why is Devin Marshall being so overlooked? What am I missing? I was going to say that was one of the late round. PFF has him at 193. He was the 8th overall ranked cornerback. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, 86.1 overall grade, 85 flat coverage grade.
Okay, so Devin Marshall. Go ahead, Amelia. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Speaking of him, Jacob, we right now had him at 243. I did just put in the 208 for 23 for PFF, 260 for 24, and then 8th for last year. He tried, and then his final grade went to about a 90. Then I added in the PFF big board, which we didn't have earlier, of the 193. He now is sitting at, Clay just reorganized it for me. Right. He's now sitting at 147. So he jumped up about 100 spots now after we just updated that.
So he still wouldn't be in our top 100, obviously, but man, his value just skyrocketed. Right.
Yep. So, and all we had before was just his consensus number that we had on him. So we got our numbers in, got that grade moved down for him.
And you're going to find, like, as we get closer to the draft, we'll go back through, and the guys we don't have grade rankings for, all of a sudden PFF will have grade rankings for them. So it's like you got to kind of fill that in as you go, but we want it in as early as possible. So, Jay, thank you for bringing that up. If you hadn't mentioned that, that's a guy that would be lower on our board that didn't need to be. So great eye there, man, for sure. Now, obviously, he's already gone, though, right? He's already been picked here. Yep. So that's one of those guys that it might have made sense with that last pick. Although I don't know if I could have passed up on Pat Coogan being the top 100 prospect. So, all right, what positions y'all want to see, boys? What are we thinking here? Because we're showing biggest needs: D tackle, tight end, kick returner, probably the top. D tackle, you got Regas. They're suggesting we take Regas. So let's see, Emilio, what we got here on the board. Regas is 181 on our board, right? And we are picking right now at 200. So that's good value, no doubt about it. The question is there another D tackle here that makes more sense? Capehart is much lower, right? Barrett is 175. Okay. So he's 175. And then you got Cameron Ball.
Is your boy Proctor still there? Or is he gone?
It's a good question. It looks like he might be gone. He's gone this time. Check that out.
Okay.
People catching on, ain't they? They catching on. Proctor gone. So if we're going D tackle, this is good value here, right? There's no doubt about it. Now the problem is Koziel, tight end, is sitting there at 156, and on our board, Koziel is God, where's he at? He is 85th. So you're talking about way less value if you go D tackle. That's the definition of reaching for need if we go Regas over Koziel, right?
Well, let me ask you, at D tackle, are you wanting a pass rusher or you want a run defender?
Yes. That's the answer. Yes. So if you can get both, great. But at the same time, to me, once you get outside of the first 3 or 4 rounds, now it's all bets are off. You just take the better player available. You know what I'm saying? So I could care less if it's a true nose or a 3 tech. I guess what I'm saying is you're not going to take a 3 tech in the 5th round that's going to step in and be dominant. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I was just saying because on Regas, we have 3 sacks, one each of the past 3 years. Run defense grade of an 82.6 this past year. Pass rush grade of a 58. Run stop rate is 9% though. So he's definitely he can stop the run. That's not the problem. Pass rush is where he's struggles just a little.
Gotcha.
So Jake, the tight end, baby.
You know what you're thinking?
Yeah.
To me, it makes a lot of sense. But I mean, every draft we do, we end up taking him. So will he really fall that far? Do we have him too high ranked? Those are the questions. And I guess let's troubleshoot that real quick. We got a second, right? That's why we do these things. Let's see where Koziel is. So with Koziel, he's in the 85th spot. Here's how he got there, guys. So we're not fudging this because he's one of our favorite prospects. Okay, he was 165 on the consensus big board. He was 153 on the PFF big board. So you go, how did he get to 85th? He was the 13th highest graded tight end last year. The year before, he was even higher. He was the 4th highest graded tight end. He's a stud. Now, he's more of a receiving tight end. So to me, that you don't have to re-sign Luke Musgrave now. That's Luke Musgrave's replacement. You give him a year to play behind Musgrave. Who knows? Maybe he takes that spot from Musgrave year one. That's even better. But then as you let Musgrave walk in free agency next year, bang, you're off and running with Koziel alongside your boy Tucker Kraft there in the 12 personnel. So my pick would be Koziel. Jacob, I think you agree. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Emilio, what about you?
I would agree as well. Just with the 74% contested catch rate and a 2.6% drop rate, I love that. I do not love the run block grade, so we'll have to give him a couple marbs and a couple of, get Tuck and him just out there.
Lattes.
Yeah, right. Yep, exactly.
A couple lung darts and some Culvers, right?
Yes,
put a little weight on those tips. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're going to do it. We're going to go tight end here out of Houston, Tanner Koziel. And that is going to be our – what pick is this? I don't even know now. What pick are we at right now? 200. That's great value. Holy cow, man. So at pick 200, we go tight end. And, again, we end up getting the 85th best prospect according to our board. Very, very interesting right there. And, again, if you bring Josh Wiley back, he can be more of the blocking tight end, right? He can help you in that regard. So, yeah, I agree. Coach Lynn says that's a steal. Completely agree, Coach. It's just too good a value to pass up on it. No doubt about it. Now, we're at pick 237. Look who – let's see if he's still there. He's gone. So our boy Regas is now gone. So now we're in no man's land with defensive tackle. Our top needs are defensive tackle, kick return, quarterback, and potentially running back. So I think we need to troubleshoot this D tackle and take it right now, Emilio, don't you? If we're going to take a D tackle.
Yeah, we might as well take a peek. I like that we have a couple Georgia guys in the hopper, but let's just take a quick peek down there and see what's going on.
All right, I'm going to look up James Thompson if I can find him. Is he not on our board? James Thompson is not on our board. Holy cow. So that's one we need to get added to the board for sure. Let me make a note real quick. If you'll look up Barrett for me, Emilio, where do we got him?
Barrett is We have him 175. D tackle out of South Carolina with a PFF of a 102 last year. Let me just see if I can update any of his numbers real quick.
All right, Jacob, what are you thinking here, man? You okay? Do you feel like we have to force D tackle here, man?
I mean, I wouldn't say have to, but it would be nice just to bring in some bodies and, see if there's any sort of crazy one-offs of guys that are, you strike diamond in the rough sort of thing. I'm going to be honest. I'm not familiar with most of these guys though. PFF cuts them off pretty quick. The last guy people they have is Jacoby and Gilroy, Dominic Williams and Cameron Ball, and I don't even see them on here no more. So,
yeah, looking at our board here, just doing a quick check. Hands down, Nick Barrett's the best guy, right? The fact that you would get 175, your 175th best prospect at pick 237 that's a steal too, right? I know Emilio's trying to throw some numbers in for us right now. We'll see what happens. I'm monitoring the situation very closely. As he's
I don't know. That's tough. Just because, with Barrett, we're only getting. I saw you went back and got his 25 grade, but with the consensus at 189, he's not pulling anything from PFF's big board. And looking at kind of where these guys are going, Keyshawn Silver, Brandon Cleveland, Gary Smith, Landon Robinson out of Navy. So there's kind of where PFF is heading, but that is deep down the board at this point in the mock draft database. So I think you're taking a shot at Nick or James Thompson.
James Thompson was significantly lower. So I do feel like Nick Barrett will be the pick if we go D tackle. So I say let's just do it for time's sake.
I like it.
So we're getting the 175th best prospect at defensive tackle and Nick Barrett. We're going to get him at pick 237. That is great value there. So again, 175 at 237 is absolutely awesome. All right, how are we feeling about it so far up to this point? We still need kick returner, potentially a backup quarterback, and a running back. Jacob, how do you feel so far about the way this thing's fallen, man? We've literally got great value every pick, most of them more than 20 spots at least where we took them.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with this draft. Definitely like you said, it seems like we've addressed our needs, did it in a way that was maybe not ideal when you look back at it 2020 hindsight, but I think that we're still doing a pretty good job.
All right. So there's your boy. Every time that Kennedy or whatever his name is pops up, you always grunt. You like him a lot, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Tell everybody why you like him, man. Just a pretty smile or what? Well, talk to me.
He, again, being at Oregon, going to be at a high performance school. I just love the size. He's 5'11", 185. He's the 24th overall ranked cornerback this year. He was 84.7. It's the 32nd. His coverage grade's an 87. I feel like that he's the type of player that you don't find him that deep in the draft. So I'm just kind of curious if there's other red flags we should know about, but it seems like he's played a decent amount of snaps. I don't know, Emil, you got anything crazy on him?
Not at the moment. Where did they have James on consensus's number?
Consensus's number going immediately following college football season was 432
for James Thompson.
Oh, no. For
okay.
Kennedy. I'm sorry, Kennedy. You want to see James Thompson?
Yeah, just real quick. That way I can get you a number. We already picked. Never mind. He already went by.
Yeah. But still,
okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to put. Oh wow. I see why you're doing that. So there's a chance. Let me look. I'll look that up real quick. You guys talk.
But I'm not mad at it. But I feel like at this point we had already taken a couple D. We did this last year, right? Where you take a D lineman at the end of the draft, you bring them in, and then you kind of go from there. But then you bring in a QB. I wouldn't be mad at it, I guess. You didn't get a running back though, Jacob. So are you mad about that?
I just am a little more worried about the secondary than I am the running back room. So here, let me make my case quick. He's the redshirt senior. 2021 played significant snaps, 800. He had a 69.3 with a 71.8 tackling grade. Run defense grade. 2022 played almost 500 snaps, had a 70.7 with an 82.8 run defense grade. 2023 must have gotten hurt, still had a 68.8. 2024 came back and played 600 plus snaps, 68.8 and a 68 run defense grade. This last year played just over 600 snaps. 85.5 with a 74.5 run defense grade. He's just been consistent, and he's willing to play the run. decent size, big school. At
Mhm.
this point in the draft, I feel like it's a no-brainer. But that's just me.
That's Kennedy, right?
That
Yeah.
is.
Okay. So again, the reason that he's so low on our board is at the end of the college football season, they had him at 432. What
Right.
Jacob is saying is this year, he played damn good football this year. Right.
Right.
So it's like, why did they have him at 432? Let me look at an update on him real quick, because that may have changed. And I put James Thompson in, Emilio. That's a defensive lineman that's going to creep up on our boards too, because on January 31st, 198th was where he was.
Right.
Okay. Now, he went from 319 to 198. We'll count the 198. But, yeah, and I'll hop back now and look at
Candidate at 2. So is that him at 210 right there on consensus, where we had him at, like you said, Clay, 432 just coming out of there. So, I mean, he jumped 200 spots. Even if you were to just flip that right now, so he's at 210 right now, that would put his score right around 137. So he would fly up the board to about 160-ish.
And if you're watching and this is the first time you've tuned into our draft coverage, like this is the first year you're following the channel, I know we picked up a ton of subs this year. What we're talking about is we like to get those rankings in as soon as college football ends, before all the hype starts, right? And everybody, they fall in love with this guy, that guy. And I'll tell you, I know firsthand from people I know who cover teams, who cover colleges, they intentionally will pump guys up on mock drafts and on consensus big boards because they cover the school, or they know there's a lot of that going on too, to build some hype for some players. So I like to stick to how did we actually feel about them at the end of the year. So what Emilio is talking about is if we put in the new number, which the new number is, like I said, or like he said, 210, right? That is significantly higher from where we had him before at 432. So if we split that, and let's say we go, instead of 210 or 430, let's go 320, right? That's kind of meeting in the middle. Is that kind of what you're saying, Emilio?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair of, we're trying to give the guy a chance, bring him back up, but we're also not taking into account just the most recency bias and pumping him up. Because, I mean, if they like him, by the time April comes around, he could be 140, 130. I mean, he could be, edging into the top 100 sort of thing, just because, you're moving a big school and everything like that.
Let's do it. Put that number in. Let's see where his grade goes from. Currently, his grade is 211.3, and Emilio changes that. Now he goes to 174.0. I'm going to resort
there because it was going to bring him into like 130, 140-ish. So you're bringing him into the top 200. All right, the 7th round pick. That I think that's completely fair for him.
It puts him at 221 on our board now. Okay, and again, we will be selecting him at pick 254, so that's great value. So, Jacob, we're going to take your boy. We're going to go Jaden Kennedy out of Oregon, cornerback. All right, so how many picks do we got left? Is it 2 left? Am I thinking right?
It's just 1, wasn't it?
Oh, just 1. That was one of our 7. So now we got to choose between kick returner or quarterback here. So again, let me pencil this in real quick. We did take another cornerback. All right. Okay, so what are you guys thinking here? What route should we go? Should we shore up a kick returner, try to get a kick returner to help compete, or do y'all think a backup quarterback? I think those are 2 spots that are really, really important for sure.
Coach thinks quarterback.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Coach thinks quarterback. What do you guys that don't have a lot of faith in Desmond Ridder at all?
I mean, what has he done? Now, we said the same thing about Malik Willis, and look what Matt LaFleur did with him, right?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, yeah, that's a
I know what you're doing. You're trying to get your guy Mark, aren't you?
Who's that?
You're trying to get your Gronowski.
Oh, Gronowski's interesting, man. Now, if I'm getting my boy, he's already gone. Let's go get Diego Pavia. Couldn't say it without laughing. Yeah, we could go down here and get Zach Calzada. Do y'all know his story, by the way? From Kentucky. Y'all heard about that?
Mm-mm.
So Zach Calzada, he was a transfer into Kentucky. They paid him a bunch of money to transfer through the NIL. He was cheeks, absolute cheeks. Cutter Boley beat him out, was hands down better. And the fans in Kentucky were giving him hell. And he sent a message to them, a DM, I don't know if it's on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, of him laying in bed counting his NIL money. He sent it to a Kentucky fan. So
wow.
Calzada probably not the guy you want on your team, and that's why he's ranked 813th on the consensus big board. So.
Updating his numbers, though, we'll give him a 400 that PFF has and 813 on there. He goes to 340 total score.
This guy right here, unbelievable. All right, so
if it was me, I'd be looking for more of a return guy.
I would say running back would be our look right now. Get a running back that we could potentially put at return, maybe somebody that's elusive or something. I mean, yeah. I'm not exactly sure on who's done returns or anything like that at the running back position, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. It's not like I feel like you wouldn't go get a wide receiver right here to return kicks and try to bring another wide receiver into the fold.
I agree.
Look at the top of the list. Look at the top of the list. Kentucky boy, Seth McCowan. Here's the thing with kick return, okay? I went through and got the top 10 punt returners and the top 10 kick returners. And there was a couple of those guys that were on both of those lists, okay? And then I ranked them by our board grade at their respective positions. There was only one running back, and that was Jadarian Price at 60, okay? So Jadarian Price, hindsight being 2020, earlier in the draft, you getting a stud kick returner and a solid backup running back. But again, we had bigger needs. Now, when you switch over to wide receiver, so I say that because at running back, none of these guys are going to be as good of a kick returner as these wide receivers I'm going to mention, okay? So just keep that in mind. Wide receivers, if we go down the list here, Hank Beatty was the one that always kind of popped up to us. Let's see if he's already gone. He may already be gone. I bet he is. Yeah, it looks like Hank Beatty's gone. So nope.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. So see, he's 338. Our board has him at 281. Okay, now you'll see Vinny Anthony, according to the consensus big board out of Wisconsin. A lot of our listeners love Vinny Anthony as a kick returner, right? He's in the 335 spot, but on our board, Vinny Anthony is 406, so it's not even close. It seems like Beatty would be the better pick overall, although if you think Vinny Anthony is a slightly better kick returner than Hank Beatty, I get that, and that's what you're drafting him for, right? But if you just go from overall value, Hank Beatty would be the pick for me, if that makes sense. So now let's see if Weegan is out there too. Weegan's another one. He's significantly lower on our board, but some people think he would be a much better kick returner. I think he might.
Pretty sure that I saw him got drafted.
So, yeah, he's already. Yeah,
right
look at
there.
that. One pick before us. Unbelievable. So there you go. So we're in the ballpark here talking about getting a kick returner with the final two picks, right? So we're definitely spot on there. So again, the question becomes: would you rather have a receiver that can return kicks, a running back that's going to compete for the backup running back spot, or would you rather have a quarterback that's going to compete with Desmond Cheeks Ritter as your backup quarterback? That's the big question here. You know? And again, I say Cheeks Ritter because he hasn't done anything at the NFL level, but keep in mind, he was 30th on the consensus big board the year that he was drafted. So they seen him as a potential first-round talent when he was coming out in the draft for Cincinnati. So I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys tell me which direction you want to go here, man. I can tell you the best kick returners at receiver. I'm blind at running back, though.
I still don't think you'd bring in another wide receiver. Because like we tried it last year with McCole Hardman, and he didn't make the cut. How can you bring in a vet that can return kicks and you not make the cut? Maybe looking at it, after the fact, thinking, yeah, maybe we should have kept him, but you still didn't have the room in the wide receiver room, and we had to cut Malik Heath. You know what I mean? We had to get rid of some guys that we actually liked to make room for that room. So I wouldn't be opposed to taking a peek at a running back, and it's something that he did 2 or 3 years ago when he drafted was a Lou Taylor out of Michigan or Michigan State or something like that. So a late round running back, priority free agent kind of or priority undrafted guy would be my look.
Gotcha. Well, we've got one that sticks out to me here at running back is Kejon Owens out of Florida International. We've got him in the 164 spot. You're talking about great value at the running back position. And I just want to check a couple more. You got Jamarian Miller. Let's see where he ended up. That's out of Alabama, 346, so that don't look good. You got Jay Knott. Jay Knott's a fascinating player because he was ranked really high going into the year. People felt really good about him, and then he's just completely tanked down boards. Jay
Knott had a good turnout at the Senior Bowl, -5 there.
Who did?
So
there you go, right? So maybe he is climbing back up boards now. So if we were to stick to our board, hands down, Kejon Owens or Kejon Owens, however you say it, from Florida International will be the running back pick here. So why don't we do this? We got Kejon Owens at the 164 spot to decide this for us, whether we go running back or we go back up quarterback. Let's see which one ranks higher.
Can you check Kentrell Bullock real quick?
Running back, how do you spell his name?
Last name's Bullock. Kentrell. Guess where he went to school, Emilio?
South Alabama.
South Alabama. Guess what his rankings are, bruh? He's the 9th overall ranked halfback. He had a 90.3 overall grade, a 90.4 rushing grade, 5'10", 205. Just saying.
Boy. We got him in the 229 spot. So Keegan Owens is like 164. I see what you're saying, man. The 9th highest graded running back, and he's gotten better every year too, hasn't he, Jacob? Interesting.
Doesn't catch the ball very often, but over 1,000 yards. I feel like it's kind of like who was it last year? Davis out of South Dakota State, right? They had that running back who was like top 5 graded running back each year the past 3 years. But you go ahead and take a chance on him at the end of the draft. I would be opposed to that one, Jacob.
I'm taking a quick look at quarterbacks too. I want to see who has the better grade here.
Aguilar, Clay?
Yeah, I don't think he's too high on our board. I don't even know if he's got a grade. I was just like, because obviously Joey Aguilar, if you guys are wondering, he's battling in court right now to try to get another year of eligibility at Tennessee. So he probably won't be back. Just like we've got Chambliss is, I think that's his name, or Chambliss, however you say his name, out of Ole Miss. He is on our board still too, but he most likely will be coming off the board because he's going to return to college. He wants to major in the minors for the rest of his life, evidently. So, so Luke Altmaier, we got him at 188.4, not his ranking, but his grade there, right? Morton's lower than him. I'm afraid to say that Joe name there out of UConn. I don't want to get canceled here. He's below Altmaier, so we don't have to say it. Mark Gronowski, that's the one that Jacob wanted to mention, right? So here's why Gronowski is so high, like on our board. In 2023, he was the 4th highest graded quarterback. Then he was 49th. Then he was 59th. He also won the East West Shrine Bowl MVP. So there's a lot to like there. And when you look at his grade of 135.2 as opposed to Luke Altmaier's 188.4, he hands down is the better quarterback there. He really is. So if we were to go quarterback, we would go Gronowski here. Okay. And again, that's out of Iowa. All right. And
can he run the ball, Clay?
What's that?
Can he run the ball?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You thinking you're going longest yard here?
No, I'm thinking you go Tommy Castellanos out of Florida State, little dual threat action.
Hey, he turned some heads this year, no doubt about it, man. So if we narrowed it down to running back and quarterback, outside of Jacob's guy that he likes that's significantly lower on our board, right? Running back, Keegan Owens is 164. Quarterback Gronowski is 159. So quarterback is more important than running back too, tier 1 position of importance. We talk about the 2 different drafts every year. My pick would be quarterback Gronowski here. However, if you guys want to go running back, y'all can outvote me here if y'all think it's more important for sure. Because again, like Jacob pointed out, do we not like Ritter? We weren't crazy about Malik, and Malik Willis, holy cow, did Matt LaFleur turn his career around quick. And they're kind of, I don't want to say they're cut from the same cloth, stylistically, they're 2 totally opposite players, right? However, they were both considered first-round talent, and they both went to crappy teams and played crappy, right? So you could turn him around as well. But I'll leave it up to you guys. Jacob, do you want to go running back or quarterback here?
Oh, boy. When you put it the way you put it, I do think that the importance of having that backup quarterback. I mean, we saw it this year. Had we not had a guy like Malik, this season would have been an even more of a dumpster fire. I think all right. Let's get the pole lock. Bring in the ski.
The ski. All right, Emilio, what are you thinking here, man?
Yeah, I think that's I think that's the shot. We tried it last year. We ended up. We took the heat for taking Pratt last year, right? We ended up losing. What did we lose? Monetization on YouTube for a while. So I think we give it another shot this year. We try one more time with a quarterback. We don't put up a clip of him, and we give it a shot. How about we think?
Little behind football here. We found out why the channel lost monetization for a significant amount of time. So we did a breakdown on Michael Pratt from Tulane. It was Tulane, right? Am I thinking right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we did a breakdown on him. And the video that we had were TV copy highlights, which we're allowed to use. You just can't monetize the video. And if you do monetize the video, you don't get penalized. They just, they take they take that money, right? Whoever owns the rights to that. So that's okay. I was planning on that happening. Well, some knucklehead flagged it that I stole his video and used it. Okay. Well, in the highlights I put together, there was a play or two that had his name stamped on it. And I'm thinking, well, he'll just get credit for it. His name's right there, right? Well, rather than him try to grab credit for it, he just flagged us copyright or infringement or whatever it is. And that's what got the channel demonetized. Now, it took YouTube a year and a half to explain that to me because it's like they're them Red China over there, like they're enriching uranium or something. We're not allowed to know about how the cookies baked here. But so anyway, so we're going Gronowski. Is that what we're doing here, boys?
I like it.
I'm cool with it.
I know there's people too. Chester Marco liked that comment, by the way, Jacob. Don't put it on the screen, please, for the love of God. But I know there's some people going, why aren't you getting a kick return? Why aren't you getting a kick return? To Emilio's point, that wide receiver room is already freaking stacked. Like, I mean, if we pass up on a potential backup quarterback that might beat out Desmond Ridder as the backup quarterback to get a wide receiver that ain't even going to make the roster, it's, you miss out on 2 opportunities there, right? Mm-hmm. I get it. I understand. All right. So the pick is going to be quarterback Mark Gronowski out of Iowa.
I like it.
Yeah. And again, we got him at pick, if I can find it here. We got him at pick, 257. And boy, did we get good value. We got the 159th best prospect. So you love to see it. Love to see it. What do y'all think about that draft, man, as we go down the list here? I hate that they zoom in like that. Drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I actually really like it. I actually really, really like it.
So with the 52nd pick, we took Emmanuel Prignon, interior offensive lineman from Oregon. We're assuming Aaron Banks is gone. He's going to start at left guard for us, right? Mm-hmm. Pick 84, we went Jacob Rodriguez. We're assuming Quay Walker is gone. He's going to play right alongside Adrian Cooper, at least compete with Tyron Hopper and Isaiah McDuffie for that other nickel 4-2-5 stack backer spot, right? 120, we went Julian Neal, cornerback out of Arkansas. 158, we went center. What is this? Roddy? So, 158, we went Pat Coogan, center out of Indiana. Natty, just won a Natty, came from Notre Dame. I think he's kind of underrated, to be honest with you, man, in this draft. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up winning a starting job at center somewhere this year. Although he's not my top choice, I would love to have somebody like Jake Slaughter, still a solid pick. Then you go Tanner Koziel out of Houston, tight end at 200. 237, you went Nick Barrett, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. 254, you went Jaden Kennedy, that's Jacob's boy, cornerback out of Oregon. And then 257, we went Mark Gronowski, quarterback out of Iowa. So, again, quick recap. If you break down where we took them and where they were on our board, the first pick we took at pick 52, we got the 46th best prospect. Pick 120, we got the 80th best prospect. 158, we got 89. 237, we got 175. 84, we got 65. Okay. 200, we got 85. 254, we got 221. 257, we got 159. There's not one pick we made that we didn't get better value at the pick than where they were projected to go, or where we took them at, I should say. So that's what you call working the board. Now, again, that doesn't mean our board is correct, right? It doesn't mean our board is spotless and, hey, it's the grand poobah of all draft boards. I'm just simply showing that's how you work a draft board that's what Goody and these guys are going to be doing. If their board looked like ours, that's how they're going to operate in the draft room, hands down. Now, the problem is, as Jacob pointed out last year, and I want to say again, he was 100% correct. Goody had Anthony Belton significantly higher than we did. It looked like a hell of a reach on our board. I'm sure to Goody, it was like, this guy's a steal. Mm-hmm. It hasn't worked out to this point, but we're only 1 year in. So,
what did we learn? It's like 20 to 40 picks away. I mean, you're pretty much in the range of, 40-ish picks in total from where you're at, up or down on the board.
Yeah. And again, man, looking back last year, I mean, I feel like we hit probably 9 out of every 10 picks. The guys that we had significantly higher than others, they ended up having a decent season as opposed to some of these guys that were like, man, that pick doesn't make sense. Right. You get excited when other teams do that,
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, take all those guys down there. And then when you do it, you go, son of a, right?
And by the time you start getting later on, you start meeting with them, you get more cheese emojis, you figure out who is a captain, all these little things start adding up to, okay, you're narrowing down. Then we start, as the time gets close, where our cluster busters, that's where you start to really, narrow this thing, hem it in a lot and try to really sharpen it up.
Yeah. And I want to point that out since you mentioned that, Jake or Emilio, and I know Jacob, last year we pointed this out to Jacob when he didn't like the Anthony Belton pick. Look at what you got with Anthony Belton. He is, if I remember correctly, is this sorted? Oh, it's sorted by PFF grades. He's going to be all the way down. Let me sort by overall grades. So with Anthony Belton, the interesting thing here is, you see, we still got to go down the board significantly. The Savion Williams pick looked great to us, right?
Yep.
Like it's, oh yeah, that's great value where we got him, right? The Anthony Belton's the one that didn't make sense because we actually had Anthony Belton below Savion Williams. So you remember Goody said we had a second round talent on Savion. He said that, right? A second round grade on him. So that tells me that they actually had Anthony Belton in the same tier with a second round grade as Savion Williams. The problem is we had Anthony Belton down here. However, he's lit up in the gold, right? He's lit up in the gold. And Emilio, I think the chart was messed up on the 25, but you got it fixed here on the other one. The gold means Senior Bowl plus the player met the Packers athletic threshold.
Right.
So that's like, if they're gold, they're primed for the picking. The spade means Senior Bowl threshold and they were a top 30 visit. That means they're screaming they're going to take them. So
correct. And the cheese emoji meaning that they had met with him. Top prospect. But looking at it like that, okay, Anthony Belton's 122 on our board, ended up being 121, but and then you roll up to Savion, he was 88. So you're looking at the two, or 99, I'm sorry. So there's basically 30 picks right there in between. Both of those guys were basically a second round grade on both of them. Looking at our board, okay, all right, in the 90s, we're still second round grade material. Maybe when we're looking at our board this year, okay, anything 80 and on. All right, that's still second round material. And we kind of open up our clusters a little bit just to try to zone in on how Goody and the team sets up the boards over there.
Yeah, and another thing too, Goody said that they feel confident every year that they can get all three of their first 3 round picks, right? Their first 3 rounds, they can get top 50 prospects on their board in those first 3 rounds. So that's how they see it. They see things kind of through that lens, that perspective. So they may have been going, Savion may still be there when we pick in the 3rd, but they maybe their intel suggested Anthony Belton's about to get picked. So let's get Anthony Belton. Bang, we turn around and we still got a second round talent in Savion, even though Anthony Belton hasn't worked out to this point. Someone was asking in here, Coach Lim was asking about Noel Williams.
I want to say he was like 210-ish, something like that.
No, look at this. We had him in the 112 spot.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah. And he did not have a PFF. Actually, he did 74.5.
Okay. Yep. Oh, no, he was crushing it.
Now, imagine this. Jacob, I'm going to piss you off even more tonight, sir. Imagine this. If we had taken Noel Williams instead of Anthony Belton, we're probably not talking about having to draft a cornerback this year.
Yeah. I was pretty high on Noel Williams. I think that Tim was the highest of all of us, if I remember correctly, and he was kind of beating the table quite a bit. And hindsight being 2020, that is, it's going to be fun checking the board this year and just kind of seeing which one of these players just seems to fit what we need. I saw some comments in the saying like, well, maybe you guys should teach Goody how to do it. Trust me, I think their board has probably got a little more info than ours, even though Emilio does a pretty good job. Clay does a great job, but I think that Goody may have maybe just a couple more lines of info he can hit, but And
here's the thing too. You guys may look up this year and go, your board is trash.
Yeah.
And Goody may have a Hall of Fame class this year, right? Now, got to keep that energy both ways, right? That's the way that goes. So, but yeah, it's really interesting to see some of these guys a little later in the draft that graded out well, like Jamari Caldwell, defensive lineman out of Oregon, 62.5, right? Here's Pat Bryant. We talked about Pat Bryant a lot, wide receiver out of Illinois, 60.9 was his grade. We talked Noel Williams. Here's another one, Bashul Tootin. I do a little tootin'. Virginia Tech, 66. So that was a solid pick for somebody. That was Jacksonville, actually. Here you go. Jacob Parrish. Remember us talking about him?
Mm-hmm.
We were all over these corners, guys. Jacob Parrish, 69.3. He would be our highest grade cornerback on our entire team if we had taken him at some point there.
Yeah,
And
look at my boy Torrey Horton. Hey.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Torrey Horton, 70.1. That was a wide receiver there. The big one that hurts, and we talked about it the other day, we'll hit on it again real quick, is wide receiver. You know, our board was basically screaming to take Luther Burden if you were going to go wide receiver at 28. Well, we end up going Matthew Golden at 30. He's 38 on our board. So again, why did Goody have a higher grade than Luther Burden? Chicago ended up getting Luther Burden after we got Matthew Golden, right? Matthew Golden graded out of 70.5, right? It's not a bad pick. I think he's going to be a great football player. Luther Burden, 77.9. Now, what do we always talk about? Matthew Golden, that 40-yard dash. Goody probably seen that and got the googly eyes, right? Like, all right, this dude's got blazing speed. I would love to have Romeo Dobbs back this year for the right price, but damn, I'm excited to see Matthew Golden play X, man. Mm-hmm. I want to see him out there and see what he can actually do. So, yeah. Anyway, there you go. Anything else you want to look at there, Jacob, before we wrap up, man? Anything at all?
I'm good, man.
All right, good deal. Well, let's get out of here, man. This was a fun little mock draft. I'm glad we got to dive into some of the picks there from last year too, man. It's always fun to look back, and that's the other thing is you guys having access to these draft boards. You can go back. I'm excited to look up in 5 years and go, man, we can go all the way back to 2022 and 2023 and kind of look, you know, and see, or 2024 rather, and see where these grades were. I used to do
how we did that player grade of the PFFs where all Goody's picks have passed. Remember when we do that in the offseason where we go through, we get a grade next to him, and then, all right, is he still on the team? Is he gone? Where's he at? You know, and then I like compare that to the board. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Completely agree. All right. Chester Marco, that's a favor for everybody in the chat. If y'all would spin that football, hit that like button for us. You are the GOAT, Chester. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, buddy. So, all right, let's get out of here, man. Thank y'all for jumping in. It was fun to do this just on short notice like this, right? And just kind of dive in here and talk a little draft, do a little mock draft. So if you guys are watching this back later, let us know in the comments. What do you think about that mock? What player would you rather us taking at a specific pick? Maybe there's a couple of them you actually like. Listen, we always welcome positive comments. We're never going to turn those down because Lord knows we get the negative ones, all right? So we appreciate everybody jumping in here, though. Hit that like, hit subscribe, click the bell icon. We will be back tomorrow as news breaks. There might not be a morning show. Depends on what time I get up. I got a bunch of appointments tomorrow. So regardless, we will go live at some point tomorrow. So my name's Clayton. That's Emilio. That's Jacob. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.